Welcome to Sounds of the Cinema.
Hiya, welcome back to Sounds of the Cinema. This is the show written for filmgoers by a filmgoer. I'm your host, Billy Ray. And in today's show, we're going to be talking about music used in films that already exists, wasn't made for the film. Famous music in scenes that makes the scene really well known or really popular. You hear the music and you instantly know it from the film. We'll be focusing on a lot of famous Tarantino films and really well-known scenes and stuff like that. We'll also be focusing a bit on Beetlejuice as well. So let's get started.
Well, I don't know why I came here tonight. I got the feeling that something ain't right. I'm so scared in case I fall off my chair, and I'm wondering how I'll get down the stairs.
I wanted to start off by talking a bit about Tarantino because Quentin Tarantino is a really influential, prominent figure when it comes to film directing and film scoring and things like that. He always has a really great film score, soundtrack. He picks the best music. So we might as well start from, well, the start. So right the way back to Reservoir Dogs. There's a very famous scene in Reservoir Dogs where if you've heard the song Stuck in the Middle with You and you've seen this film, you will probably remember this particular scene, which has probably scarred you for the rest of your life. In this particular scene, one of the characters have a police officer tied up to a chair, and Mr. Blonde, who is a character by Michael Madsen, decides that he wants to torture the police officer, so he proceeds to cut his ear off and then cover him in gasoline in an attempt to set him on fire, all while dancing around to this song, which gives a really playful feel to a very grim scene.
Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Yes, I'm stuck in the middle with you.
Fantastic use of classic music there by Tarantino. And this is followed. And then if we jump ahead 2 films to Jackie Brown. Jackie Brown has some really great music in it. There's Across 110th Street, which opens the film in this very long shot with all the credits and things.
Across 110th Street, pimps trying to catch a woman that's weak.
And then we've also got the song Street Life, which gives a really upbeat kind of 80s classic feel to the film.
I play the street life because there's no place I can go. Street life.
And then finally there's probably the most prominent song throughout the whole film, which is Didn't I Blow Your Mind by the Delfonics.
I gave my heart and soul to you, girl. Didn't I do it, baby? Didn't I do it, baby?
The Delfonics are actually mentioned quite a bit throughout the film. The main character really likes the Delfonics. So as you've heard so far, Tarantino is great with using really classic, nice songs throughout his films, giving the films a really playful, upbeat kind of vibe to them, even to some really gory scenes. Probably the best, most well-known one would be Pulp Fiction in terms of its music use. It's got Son of a Preacher Man, which has got my name in it, by the way.
Billy Ray was the preacher's son, and when his daddy would visit, he'd come along.
And there's also Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon, which is played at Mia Wallace's house.
Girl, you'll be a woman soon.
And then probably the most well-known scene from Pulp Fiction, which is referenced and parodied just numerous times, would be the dance-off scene at Jack Rabbit Slim's, in which Mia Wallace and Vincent Vega get involved in a dance-off to the song You Never Can Tell by Chuck Berry.
It was a teenage wedding and the old folks wished him well.
I could go on talking about Tarantino's music for days on end. There's music in Kill Bill, there's really brilliant music in Django and Death Proof, but I'm not going to because I don't really have time and it's only a 7-minute podcast. So moving on from Tarantino films, there's 500 Days of Summer, which is a really nice quirky little film with Zooey Deschanel and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and it makes nice use of songs by the Smiths. To be honest, I'm not particularly a fan of the Smiths, but I really like the use of the music by the Smiths in this film. I think they've chosen a good selection of songs in it because the main characters like the Smiths.
Under the double-decker bus crashes into us.
The scene in particular in 500 Days of Summer, which is really popular. It's a sort of fourth wall breaking scene in a way. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's walking around town dancing, and then suddenly all the characters around him in the street start dancing as well, and there's cartoon birds. The music used here just gives the whole thing a really summery, nice, happy, upbeat feel, and it just really works with the theme of the film at this point. I'm going to close the show today by talking about a really fantastic, quirky little film. It's a film by Tim Burton. It uses a lot of old style puppetry and animation and lots of really cool effects and stuff like that. So it has this really quirky kind of vibe to it. It's Beetlejuice, which personally I think is probably one of his best films. There's a particular scene in this film in which the Deetses have a little dinner party, and the ghosts of the house possess them to start dancing around the table to the song Day-O. That's probably the most popular musical part of the film, but my favourite part, which I'm gonna end the show on today, is Shake Senora, which is played right at the end of the film when the main character starts floating in the air after passing her test. It gives it a really happy feel, and it just ends it on a really high note. So as I leave you with that, I say goodbye, thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Shake, shake, Senora, shake your body liner. Shake, 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 Senora, shake it all the time. Whoa.